A lot of catchers and their families struggle to understand what the recruiting timeline looks like for catchers, and a lot of what they're doing isn't helping them win, develop, or get noticed. I've been around this position my entire life. I played it at the Division I level. I've helped hundreds of catchers. Right around 50 of these guys have gone off to play college baseball. Catchers waste time, money, energy, resources trying to get noticed and chasing exposure when they weren't ready to be showcased just yet. So you need to understand that the catcher's recruiting timeline is not solely about exposure. It's about earning the right to be recruited through your body of work, your tools, and your skill sets as a competitor. Once those things are in place, then you can fully understand what the recruiting timeline for a catcher actually looks like. The first piece that's going to make you a recruitable catcher is essentially your body of work. This does not mean one good weekend, one good showcase, one perfectly crafted recruiting video. Coaches are looking for consistency from their catchers. They're looking for a catcher that is committed to the craft, and this is going to show up with how they present themselves on the field. And you can also tell if this catcher is committed to his craft by the way that he lives his life off of the field. Recruiters are going to look for the catchers that are committed to long-term development, both in their personal lives and in their athletic lives, because they understand how intertwined both pieces of their life actually are. And if they want to get to a high level as a catcher, how we do one thing is how we do everything. You need to understand that a college coach is paid to win baseball games. If they lose for a long enough period of time, they're getting fired from their head coaching role. They're looking for a catcher that wins in everything that they do. They take care of the small details. You can start to align every aspect of your life towards that goal and increase your chances of being recruited. Assuming you have your personal life in order and you're living a lifestyle that a high-level collegiate catcher would actually live, this is where the recruiting timeline splits. Either your tools are there or they're not there yet and need to be developed. If your tools, as they stand right now, match the level that you're trying to play at, for example, if you have Division III tools, and your skill set as it is right now matches what a Division III coach would be looking for, coaches will start to look. Now, if your tools are above the level that you want to play at, you've got a real chance at getting recruited relatively soon. But most of the frustration is going to come from not understanding what averages at each level look like. So if you're not sure where you fit in at the college level, do some research, figure out what these guys look like, how big they are, what their tools are like, and then you can get an understanding of if you're on track to play at that level. But my mindset has always been simple. Make yourself so good behind the plate that you are absolutely undeniable to any potential scout or coach that may watch you. Once your tools are there, now who you really are starts to matter much more. Recruiters are going to evaluate you from the moment that you show up to the field. So this is going to be how you prepare, how you interact with teammates, respect that you're showing coaches, how you handle failure. Because as the margins of tools get smaller at the next level, the guys that win and the guys that are the most consistent are the guys that are taking care of the small things outside of the lines. So a lot of times catchers or parents will misunderstand the recruiting timeline and believe the issue is potentially politics, or my son is hitting 400 but he's not getting recruited. So sometimes a misunderstanding of metrics and what they actually mean and how scouts evaluate different metrics from a catcher. I understand that all these things can sound correct, but it's going to break down if you take the view of a college coach and you really take an objective look at the catcher's tools, his mindset, and his actual readiness to perform at that next level. So recruiting is not personal. It's ultimately about putting together a team that wins. And if you're not there yet, instead of getting defensive or believing it's a dead end, the good news is you continue working at all of these things, and with enough time, you can get yourself to that level. Where you'll really be able to get recruited as a catcher and win over a long period of time is understanding that this is a long-term process. For the high school catchers that I see, it's most often some kind of a mix of a readiness issue and a metrics issue. So we need to work on both of these things simultaneously over a long period of time if that catcher wants to play at the college level. My mentor, when I was coming up through the game, used to always tell us that there is a college program for anybody. It's just understanding about what is a good fit, what are these guys actually looking for, and how to get in front of them in the right ways to actually go through the recruiting process. If you can identify what is a fit for you, it becomes much easier for you to start working towards that goal. But if our goal is just generally play college baseball for anybody that gives us an opportunity, we might be better served to narrow our focus and really get a good understanding of where we want to go. Then we can establish the path to get there and what that's going to look like for both our personal life and our baseball development. So if your son wants help with these things, I work with catchers that want to play at the next level. I should have a link in the description of this video. If it's not there yet, it will be soon. You'll see it on future videos. Or you can watch this next video on the screen where I break down the exact blueprint for catchers to get recruited this year.